Wonderful. Thanks, Chad. So as Chad mentioned, I manage our Sydney private practice desk here and have done so for the past few years now. I've been with me for about 5 or so years. And I have a predominant focus on the private practice alongside Tanya, who also works within my team. And we cover the market all the way from leading top tier practices down to some of the smaller boutique markets and boutique teams within the market. So next slide, please, Chad. In terms of the objectives for this slide, so we'll be going through the market trends that we're seeing at the moment, so growth of key practice areas and who's hiring at the moment. We'll be looking at salaries across the board. We'll also be running through a couple of the unique selling points for the Sydney market as a whole. Next slide. So essentially, some of these key Sydney market trends that we're experiencing. Lawyers with around 3 years of experience in the finance, litigation, infrastructure space have and will continue to be the most in-demand practice areas across both the top and the mid-market teams. We've seen a general shake-up as well at all levels in recent times, with plenty of partner movement, juniors departing for London and the US, and also a number of mid-level lawyers heading in-house. So essentially on the whole, Sydney is the largest market by size and volume, both from a private practice and in-house standpoint. The respected nature as well of lawyers trained here holds a lot of weight with foreign partners, and Aussies have typically been a target for their teams, and the local market has been a bit of a happy hunting ground in recent times for overseas firms. With many of the leading global firms also being based and operating out of Sydney, it provides quite a defined pathway abroad for lawyers thinking about making an overseas move, and it's the reason and has been the key driver for why we have a bit of an exodus at that mid-level. The city remains a top location for those looking also for a career outside of practice, and the market is quite a popular nest for in-house counsel with significantly higher amounts of job opportunities based here compared to other cities around Australia. Our in-house team has actually noticed quite a significant increase in people looking to make that first initial jump in-house, and this has been a transition period post-COVID with many organisations looking to take that external legal counsel in-house, and also looking to minimise external legal spend, and also lawyers looking for a little bit better flexibility on the work-life balance front. So who's hiring? At the moment, both the top and the mid-market teams have maintained quite a steady stream of candidates coming through the door as they strive to gain more market share from their competitors across the board. We haven't really experienced those job cuts or, I guess, hiring freezes that you've seen in other markets around the globe, which bodes quite well for the legal recruitment market in the coming months as we look forward to the end of 2023. Top firms, the likes of Allens, CU, Gilbert and Tobin as well, are quite common names that we are seeing for the target lists of a lot of our candidates at the moment, as well as other growing practices like Cause, JWS and Maddox. There are also a number of other leading national firms that have been quite favourable and have been doing a lot of hiring in recent times. Next slide, please, Chad. So salaries. A very key part of the puzzle at the moment, and also quite a topical piece for the past year. Salaries were on the rise post-COVID, and the wages in Sydney were no different to that, which made it quite an attractive place for a lot of people to live and work as well. And whilst the cost of living doesn't really show any signs of slowing down, the wages here have typically made up for it, with lawyers usually being offered around 5% more than their peers across Australia. To combat the relatively high levels of attrition that I've mentioned earlier on to in-house and overseas, firms have been providing retention bonuses quite frequently for current staff across the board, and they've also been increasing their salaries by about 10K, I'd say, for lateral hires that are looking to come and join the team. And this is often going outside of their traditional salary banding, so they can secure any standout candidates on their line. In addition to this, the partners have also tabled quite large salary sign-on bonuses as well as other non-financial benefits to secure their preferred lawyer in quite a competitive market. As has been common in quite all large legal jurisdictions in Australia in the past year, Sydney experienced a little bit of a talent loss in the past year to overseas jurisdictions and also in-house organisations, which has been a bit of a major trend, I'd say, across all major legal hubs in the Australian market. But there has been some positives to come from that. One of the main factors, I'd say, has been the balancing previously higher practice areas and increased parity across disciplines, So contentious lawyers and non-contentious lawyers are now getting paid relatively similar salaries across the board in most cases, with the standard entry-level senior associate at a top firm floating around that 180 or that 200K package market, I'd say, as a rough barometer. Next slide, please, Chad. Next one. There we go. So a couple of the main unique selling points, I'd say, for Sydney as a whole. It's a major financial hub for Australian business. The culture's fantastic. The climate is one of the major perks as well. And there's plenty happening from an events and entertainment standpoint. So Sydney's home to a number of the many multinational companies, startups, and other businesses that offer really strong career prospects for both professionals and lawyers alike. Being a lawyer, being quite close to your clients and having access to a large portion of your client base bodes quite well, and it gives you that opportunity to forge those long-lasting relationships. In addition to this, there's also a number of preeminent practitioners within the Sydney market as well, making it a great place to learn and refine your craft amongst some of the best in the industry. I'd also say it's quite a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. There's a vibrant business environment with many networking events, conferences, other opportunities as well to connect. The city itself is also going through quite a significant makeover period at the moment. And I'd say with new buildings and refurbishments, they tend to be popping up every other week at this stage. From a cultural standpoint, Sydney's it does tick a lot of the boxes, to be honest, and it's a city that is consistently ranked as one of the top places to live in the world, as one of the most livable cities around the globe. It has excellent healthcare, world-class education, and it's just really a fantastic place for a high quality of life, and also a place if you're looking to raise a family. I'd say Sydney's a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities as well, and it's what makes it a really fantastic place to live and also work as well from a diversity standpoint. Getting exposure to a variety of backgrounds and also other walks of life really gives people the chance to gain new insights into cultures that they might not have experienced before. From an events and entertainment standpoint, throughout never really short of things to do with the vivid night noodle markets that we hold, Sculptures by the Sea down in Bondi and along the eastern beaches. There's never really there's always something to do, and it's something to do throughout the day and also within into the night. I know Chad will probably disagree with me on this one, but although I know south of the border will often claim to be the food capital of the world, I'd say Sydney's really fantastic for having a world-class food scene, countless cafes, bars and restaurants serving up delicious cuisine from all around the world. There are several food hotspots scattered across the streets of Sydney, from Surrey Hills to the inner western suburbs and further afield across the bridge. It's just a really great place to be from that standpoint. The recent addition as well, the Barangaroo precinct in the harbour of the last few years has become a fantastic destination of choice. Many Sydneysiders throughout the working week and also on the weekends looking for something to do. From a recreational standpoint, given the climate in Sydney, people make the most of the coastal location as it's an ideal city for an active outdoor lifestyle. Numerous beaches, hiking trails, national parks, and other vast parkland. There's always a chance to enjoy the sunshine, and there's a place to go is never far away. Countless travel destinations along both the north and the south coastline, and a weekend getaway can always be just an hour or so drive out of the city.